So I'm standing at the intersection of 25th and Central, and if you were paying attention in last week's City Council meeting, you might have noticed that Councillor Wirischagin had a real issue with this crossing. It appears that kids who live over there in the Gables and go to there in the school, they're little kids. What they do is they come up here, they cross this little thing here, and they cross a highway. It's a highway. There's no pedestrian crossing, there's no markings whatsoever, nothing warning people this is kids, it's a highway. This is Dante. Dante's a young boy, and if you'll notice, you can't see past his head. There's a big road in the way. Now, the highway says kids aren't supposed to cross here. They're gonna put a crosswalk here, am I right? Unless you can see.
Unless you can see, yes, absolutely, on the other side.
Okay, so that's where the kids are going now. We're at the end of 25th where it hits the highway, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Dante.
Thanks, Dante.
Okay, so this is Councillor Michael Wirischagin, and he's got a story to tell us about this particular intersection. Go ahead.
All right, well, thank you. The situation is such is that for many years, well over a decade, the Gables housing project, which is right behind us, a BC housing project that's been there for about 10 years, located just over there, has had children in it. To live in the Gables, you have to have children. It's a policy they've had for as long as that building has been in effect. For that same amount of time, the crosswalk to get to Hutton School, which is located right in behind where I was, and behind where Dante was, over there. To get over there, the crosswalk was to 2 blocks over there. Currently, we're standing on 25th Street. That crosswalk situated on 22nd, I believe, which is two blocks, full blocks that way. As of now, the demographics have changed within this neighborhood to the point where the school crossing guard, employed by the school district, who works at the crosswalk further that way, watches or helps 2 or 3 kids every morning and every day after school across the road. As she works every morning and evening, she's able to watch all the rest of the kids cross here. Because like I mentioned before, all the kids who live in there typically go to that school over there and are going to cross here across the highway. The problem is that there's no line of sight. There's a hill here. So these kids are crossing up here with no crosswalk, with no crossing guard, and are doing it dangerously. Ideally, they should be crossing at the other crosswalk, which is level to grade with the roads surrounding it. However, they're not going to do it. Kids are going to walk in a straight line as long as it's the easiest route from point A to point B. What I'm suggesting, was passed by council at the previous council meeting, is that the City of Grand Forks builds a ramp in this area in here, which is city property, to bring this up to grade, because the Ministry of Transportation has agreed in principle to move that crosswalk over here.
What's it going to take to get that done?
What's it going to take to get this done is going to take about $30,000 to get the ramp built in this area. Further, to get a sidewalk put in from the highway on the north side of 25th is going to cost roughly, an estimate from the city was roughly about $60,000. The motion that I moved this past council meeting, which was carried, was to put the ramp in for $30,000 and to further for staff to come back with a report on how to best move forward with that sidewalk on the other side. I personally don't think that we can build this without that. However, city staff believes that we're able to do this without that. We'll see. At this given point, all I care about is the children's safety, which is absolutely paramount in my book.
Option A and option B, do you remember what those were that the staff had recommended?
Off the top of my head, no, I don't. I do know there was a couple parts to the whole thing. I'm not 100% sure what the numbers or the letters that were associated with it. There was the ramp for $30,000. There was a sidewalk that from the north side of Central here, 25th to 72nd, I believe it is, over there. And then they would put another crosswalk connecting it to the sidewalk that's on the Hutton side of the road of 72nd over there. Another part of that project would have been to put a sidewalk in from the Gables to this ramp. Yeah, absolutely, in behind there. Another portion would be to keep the sidewalk that would be built on this side continued on around the corner to where the current existing crosswalk is in front of Hutton School.
Right, now I remember. Yeah.
And further, there was another option that would connect to that all the way around to 27th, located by Extra Foods, and wrap it all the way around.
Right. But you're really concerned about making sure that this is acceptable to highways so that the crosswalk can be moved here to make it safer for the kids.
Oh, absolutely. Like, ideally, sure. I would love to see crosswalks here, crosswalks there, crosswalks everywhere, but, you know, it's hard to justify.
And it's a highway.
That's it. So as long as the kids are able to cross this highway safely, which they currently aren't, because they are crossing here as opposed to where they could be crossing, and there's no way we're going to change that. That's just the culture of who we are as people. I just want to do the minimal cost just to get them across there safely.
Way back there behind Michael, way on the other side, maybe you can see him sticking up. I think he's jumping up and down, standing on his toes. That's Dante. Dante's he's a child. He's a young man, but he's still a child. He's short, and just like all the kids, Councillor Wirischagin has told me, who live over there in
The Gables,
and go to school over there in Hutton, they cross over here, and this is 25th.
This is 25th, and we just spoke from the other side of the highway here, where we show where the ramp's going to be located. That has been carried, and I hope that will be completed before school gets back in session in September. The concern, however, the second concern that I have is once they go up that ramp, whether or not highways or Ministry of Transportation will move the crosswalk over here will really depend on whether or not the kids can continue on safely from there. My concern is that it isn't safe enough for them. From this point in time, they built that ramp. The kids come up here. They cross the road here. Then they have to continue on their way that way. From that stop sign, our side of the road, my side where I'm standing right now, this way is apparently a $60,000 stretch of sidewalk. A whole lot of money, but to me not a whole lot if it means our kids' safety. The concern I have, that some people don't seem to think it is a concern, is that Ministry of Transportation will move that crosswalk further down from 22nd over to this point without that crosswalk. The shoulder on this road is absolutely minimal. This is the same route that the school district uses to send their buses up and down. You put those kids on this side of the road, then a bus going this direction, a bus coming back this direction, you're pushing them farther away. I wouldn't let my kid walk right there when you have a 2-foot shoulder. Then you put a bus there, they're going to go on to private property. That's somebody else's property over there. Further down, that's fine. It's also a drop off here. Further down, it's a little bit better. But come winter, and come the rainy season in the fall, and come winter and the spring, in those corners over there, it puddles, where you're forcing the kids then to walk essentially underneath that furthest tree on those gentlemen's, on the duplex's yard over there, which I personally think is unacceptable. I would be absolutely surprised without a sidewalk, but with the ramp, if Ministry of Transportation would move that crosswalk over here. I really highly doubt it. I think this is an absolute necessity. That $60,000 is a lot, but I think it's absolutely necessary.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Me and Sam here, we're going to take a little drive up that street. So this is where the kids would have to go, oh, can't cross the road here, I have to go down here. And they'd have to come all the way down here to 22nd and then back again. Little kids, like as if they're going to do that.